Hi, welcome to the camps page and welcome to the Relishing Dead podcast where we devour everything in the TWD universe, and we're going to do Daryl tonight. My name's Dawn.
I'm Carol, and we're going to do Daryl tonight.
Daryl. Eliza, and I'm going to watch Carol and Dawn do Daryl. And we're missing our Barb, our sweet Barb.
Missing Barb. She can't make it tonight, but we miss and love her.
We miss you, Barb. We love you.
This is episode 2 already, and the title is Alouette.
Alouette, 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 Alouette.
Oh, and Regina wants to do Daryl too, just so you know. Destiny.
Yeah, it's a Destiny.
Yeah, Regina wants to do Daryl too. So, Regina, you can take my spot, baby.
Funny.
Boy, they all come out of the woodwork when you start talking about doing Daryl, don't they?
Everybody wants to do Daryl.
Here he is.
Yes!
Bobblehead Daryl.
Bobblehead.
So what was everybody's opinion of the second episode? I know I had a hard time the first episode kind of connecting. This episode, I think, was better for me because I always enjoy when it starts out in the beginning of the apocalypse. I love that. Like, I could watch a whole new show of new people. I think that's what helped me connect more, and I'm really liking Isabel's character.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I'm like you. The further we go into it, the deeper it gets.
Mm-hmm.
I loved seeing her backstory.
Yes.
Talk about a rabble rouser.
Don't you think, though? I was thinking this earlier. Like, I think that's why she's connecting with Daryl. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Merle. A little bit. I'm not saying all the way, but a little with the drug use and the nightlife and a little bit.
Yeah,
I can see that. I think, and on the same tone that she's been there. She's been in the gutters.
Right, and stealing. She's doing a high fashion stealing, but she's still, you know what I'm saying, that same lifestyle.
She is a Class A pickpocket.
There you go.
She's very smooth.
Yeah, smooth operator. Smooth operator.
It was exceptional.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. There were a few parts that I had some conflict with this time. I loved the first episode because it was beautiful and what's the word?
Cinematography.
That's right. The cinematography was spot on and it was gorgeous. And I loved everything about the walkers and the dead carcasses. If there is, there's beauty in death to me. And so there were certain things that I absolutely loved. And in this one, I was not as connected in this episode.
Visually.
Thank you. But there were some things, and I promise you guys, there's going to be a certain point in this when we're going through the slides and stuff that I'm going to go really, really deep.
Yep.
And I am not the chick to go deep. And Regina, watch yourself. I know where your brain is going, and it's okay. But I am not the chick that goes deep. But this episode, I'm going to. So
yeah,
anyway.
There's a lot of really good marrow to this story, and they're developing it so incredibly well through the new characters that we're seeing, primarily through Isabel and Daryl. I'm ready to dive in.
And I'm really excited to see that the episodes are an hour long. I think that's helping with the storyline, and I don't think it's going too fast. It's going at the right pace.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to pull up the slides here. Okay. So here is part of the opening of the episode where they kind of show her with the tower and the club behind her and all the people partying, and she kind of is set up as as Daryl is like a lone wolf in this, where she's part of the party, but she's not. You
I was
know?
wondering
I
if she
thought
was like an escort.
I was
wondering
getting ready to think she was going to jump.
Did you?
I really did. I thought maybe she was contemplating climbing on that balcony and jumping. Sandy even said it the first few minutes in her life scared her. And yeah, I mean, I kind of thought she was kind of done with it.
Mm-hmm.
reminded
Yeah.
me of Jenny.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Yeah.
I just thought she was an escort at first. That's kind of the vibe I got.
And see, I kind of got the feeling that she was that poor little rich girl who needed a little excitement in her life. And so she spent her time stealing and stuff like that just to see if she could get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I love her. Wasn't she? And I love this actress. She was in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think she's fantastic. I think she was the perfect casting. So here she's going through the guys and she's pickpocketing each one of them. And now these are only 2 slides, but I think I counted there were like 5 or 6 men.
Yeah. I mean, she walked out with credit cards, watches. I mean, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts. Now I'm telling you, the guy on the right, I mean, he's pretty fine looking if you ask me, but you know. So here she's walking away with credit cards and she's got watches, and I mean they're setting her up for, this is foreshadowing that she's going to be this person that can use these skills later on in the show, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It was curious too, you saw her doing so much coke. I wondered when she kind of slumped down against the wall and she took a pill, I wondered if that was like a downer to help bring her down, or anxiety or something. Because you could tell that just her facial expressions that she was not happy in the life that she was in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. And of course I had to do the screenshots of the Eiffel Tower and, the cityscape and all of that, because I'm attracted to that kind of stuff, that scenery and all of that. And I just thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I loved her reaction. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I mean, you think about, was it Samuel L. Jackson, Snakes on a Plane, Zombies on a Train,
Zombies on a train. Yeah.
Zombies on a train.
Yeah. So I mean, and the tube, they had talked about. I read an article about how difficult it was to get approval to do these shots down where the tube runs through, Europe and France, and for them to shut things down was a huge big deal. But they said that the city managers, the people that were responsible for all this stuff, that they willingly were throwing locations at them because they were such huge fans of The Walking Dead. They were like, whatever you guys need, just tell us where you want to film. And they're just throwing these locations at them and saying, yeah, we'll make it work, And I just love her facial expression.
It's like, totally, what the fuck?
She's almost like checking herself. Is this like a reaction from what I just did?
Yeah, I did way too much coke tonight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When she was up on the bridge and you saw that squabble of people and the screaming and the guy getting hit by the car, I'm wondering, I bet they were being attacked by someone or something.
Yeah. I didn't realize that could have very easily been a questioning of, is this a side effect of all the dope that I've done tonight?
For sure.
I didn't even get that. So here we have, she's looking down the long, pathway down there with the tube, and she sees the walkers and people are running. And I love that shot. I think that just said so much.
And if you paid attention, go back, Carol. If you paid attention to the poster in the tube, this solidifies the timeline for when the outbreak started. And that's something that's always kind of been in question, because the poster talks about an exposition starting October of 2010 and running through March of 2011. So that tells you that this is happening somewhere around that 2010 period.
Right. And Dawn, didn't you post something like that on the page about the timeline when it started, when they first came out with that? Didn't you post something on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here she's made it out of the subway, or what they call the tube, and oh God, what's his name? Quinn.
Yeah.
Quinn.
His name?
Then how the fuck did Quinn know where she was and when she was going to be there?
I don't know.
Okay, that's why I thought she was an escort.
Oh,
because he was waiting for her and knew where she was.
Well, and he does make the comment, "Don't I always take care of you?" So
Yeah.
maybe, like her pimp, I guess, eh?
Yeah. Right. So here he's picked her up, and then they've gone back to her house to grab a few things, and one of them is her sister, which is on the left there, and that's Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to say this little girl that she's talking to, I honestly thought later on was going to end up being, oh God, what's her name? Lou, the leader of the kids.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that that's who that little girl was going to end up being, but there's
she's
no
She's going to end up being lunch. She's going to be somebody's lunch.
That's just so messed up.
She had the little Princess Leia hairdo, but she's going to be lunch.
Yeah.
For Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, so we have the poor little horse. They're moving along, Daryl and Laurent and Sylvia and Isabel. And they're taking their supplies and they're heading out. And of course, they come into the walkers and Daryl has to let the horse go.
Here's an interesting story. I just learned this last weekend from my dad. And he was talking about when that my grandfather, they traveled this particular road in a horse and carriage. And they got to a bridge and the horse would not cross the bridge. And he tried everything. And he finally got out and he went down and looked underneath and a man had hung himself under the bridge. So it's like the horse sensed the death and wouldn't cross the bridge. And it was the same thing here with Asterix. He wouldn't go any further before we ever even saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And animals have that sixth sense.
Mm-hmm.
I believe anyway that they do.
Yes, I agree, Vanessa. I don't think AMC likes horses.
Yeah. Eliza said that when we were in our private little chat after we had watched the episode. She's like, I don't think AMC has a thing for horses.
No.
And I love this scene behind because Laurent asks Daryl what kind of death he wants, and Daryl shoots back, a quiet one.
A quiet one. In other words, shut up. Yeah.
I thought that was great. So much for Uncle Daryl being nice.
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
All right, so here we have, and I say that a lot for some reason. Daryl, the kids start shooting the arrows at him, and he starts chasing this one kid. And the kid turns around. The kid looks badass in these outfits. I'm telling you, they really geared up.
It's like a little Reapers. They're little Reapers.
Thank you. That's exactly what I thought. Because like in the next slide or two, that's how I thought. Yes, Regina. Now he's Father Daryl. He's not Uncle Daryl anymore. Now he's Father Daryl.
Little Reapers.
Yeah. See, and there they are. The little Reapers.
The little Reapers. The road bandits.
The little creepy kids.
Did the arrow not remind you guys of Denise? I was just like, oh, please don't hit anybody in the eye.
Right. Yeah.
But
The baby Reapers.
Baby Reapers. Yeah, it's it.
So, okay. I loved the fact that they hung this scarecrow on the basketball net. I thought that was great. And it reminded me of kind of Jeepers Creepers kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a callback to that or not, but it definitely reminded me of that. And again, the top picture there with those beautiful, beautiful walker heads. Greg Nicotero is a genius.
Well, didn't the Reapers do that too? They put,
they
walker corpses around. So I'm baby Reapers.
Yeah. And the other thing that I laughed about was the tennis shoes hanging from the wire.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I'm from San Diego, and that is a huge thing in the beach community, is to throw tennis shoes and sneakers up on the wires and stuff. It's kind of um, a clue that summer has begun, kind of thing. It started with a little shady background, but it has morphed into that. And so I love the fact that there were tennis shoes hanging from the wire. I thought that was fun.
Didn't that used to be like a gang call?
It did.
A gang call?
It did. It started out that way. And then the beach communities, people just started throwing their tennis shoes up there like school is out. It's time for flip flops kind of thing.
Okay.
So, okay. So I took this slide because I had a little something in the background, and I wanted to mention this. If you look closely at the left, right above the dog stuffed teddy bear thingy,
yeah,
there is a skeleton that is drawn in children's, kind of scribble.
Hmm.
And for me, for some reason, I looked at that and I was reminded of Norman Reedus's tattoo that he has of the skull on his hand. And I don't know if it's a callback to that. It probably isn't. But when I saw it, I went, oh, if a kid drew it, that's what it would look like.
Yeah. Yeah. He may have went over there and drawn it.
Who knows? Possibly. I just loved all the kids' scribbles and stuff on the wall. And I didn't know if there was anything in there that would be, important or not. But I saw that.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. That's cool. Cool recognition of that.
All right. So, Madame Dubois.
Madame Dubois.
Madame Dubois.
She's doomed.
Did you guys notice anything interesting about her?
She's sick.
Other than that,
she's dying.
She's diabetic.
She's diabetic.
She's diabetic.
How'd you figure that out?
The medicine that is on the table is a medicine that is used to treat diabetes.
Oh, cool.
And we know that with Fear the Walking Dead, I believe, or no, Beyond, World Beyond, there is a diabetic in the World Beyond.
Right.
And so that kind of ties, those two shows without tying them together. And the duck tray.
Wasn't in TWD Sherry's sister diabetic?
Yes. Sherry's sister was You're right.
Yep, she sure was.
We have 3 shows that are tied together because there's a diabetic. Mm-hmm. And of course, then it was a stretch, but I saw the duck tray and immediately thought of Maggie telling Glenn, get that duck.
Get that duck.
Get that duck. Yeah.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Good catch.
I thought that was interesting. Yes, Regina, I always wear flip-flops. I just thought, yes, I do. I always wear flip-flops.
This was one of my favorite scenes of the episode. Absolutely precious, I thought. It was just, it was so. Do we know the other nun's name? I can't remember.
Which one?
The young black
Sylvia?
Sylvia. Yeah. It was fantastic, her talking about how she was impressed with their manners, and that, that Madame Dubois said that manners reflect the portrait of the person. And then goes Daryl.
Oh, yes.
There goes Daryl, and everybody just kind of stopped and looked, and then they all did it. It was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I thought it was really cute. And I love the reaction of the kids, with them following suit of doing the same thing and them laughing. It was really cute.
But him giving the blessing, but it was good. I mean, it was honest. It was heartfelt, and if this isn't good enough for you, I don't know what is, because that really was a perfect evening. And it reminded me of when at the end of Walking Dead, when they were all sitting around the table and having dinner together.
Yeah.
It kind of, since you say that, it kind of reminded me of when they were in the church and they were all sitting around and eating and drinking.
Yes.
They did the toast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cute interaction. I loved that.
Aww.
All right. So here's where I'm going to get deep.
Yep.
Praise Jesus. I'm going to go deep. All right. So one of the things that I noticed was that this young child definitely mimics Daryl's facial expressions while he's watching Mork and Mindy. The very beginning, the child is smiles, where Daryl is all smiles. At the end, Daryl is very within himself and
very pensive. Yeah, very
also
pensive.
within himself. The thing that I noticed was, and we know that there's no mistake or there's no chances in the AMC world when it comes to The Walking Dead. When they had Daryl locked up and the TV show was Who's the Boss?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was a callback to the fact that Negan is now in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Mork and Mindy is now on the television set. And it's not just the fact that Daryl and Merle used to watch Mork and Mindy. Mork and Mindy is a show about an alien who goes to an unknown world. He is a stranger in a strange land.
Yes. Yes.
Daryl is a stranger in a strange land.
Yes,
He is
absolutely.
not, he is not in his comfort zone. So he is definitely he's equal to Mork in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why they may have chosen this particular show.
And and I was thinking too, the connection of Merle is, I thought the little boy represents who Daryl was maybe at the time that they were watching it.
Yeah.
Because it's such a drawback to, he always said they watched it because it made everything better.
Right.
And so, but I love your analogy. I think that's deeper and much more in tune with what AMC would be doing, because they could have put anything up.
Yeah.
Right.
They're shady as shit. We know this.
They could have done Gilligan's Island too. I mean,
Yeah.
3-hour tour, but damn.
Why did they pack so much for a 3-hour tour, Eliza?
Well, I've been with y'all at camp. I know. Y'all bring enough crap for a 2-week trip and your 12 pairs of underwear. Come on.
You
Talk
never
about
know
your
what you're
shit
going to need.
pants. Yeah.
All right. So that's as deep as I go, ladies. I just thought that they anyway.
That was good.
That was
you're gonna go deeper.
probably at some point.
Yeah.
So look, ladies, Daryl is laying down with a woman.
This is only the second time we've seen this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just as scared this time as he was the first.
He's just as frightened.
He's just as scared. He's going to be attacked by a nun.
Right? Oh my God, what do I do?
What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, a woman. Yeah.
But I loved his comment when he said they can't miss what they never had.
Right, because they don't know any different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when they did the movie at the Kingdom.
Yes.
The fair. None of those kids had ever seen anything like that before, so they didn't know what they were missing.
That's why I was kind of comparing Isabel to Merle, because he has talked about Merle more in this series than he did, I feel like, in The Walking Dead.
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I would agree with that. And Melissa, I'm always going to think dirty thoughts, honey. Don't tell me not. Always. It's my go-to. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So here we have Quinn, right?
Quinn and Lily.
Yeah.
Quinn and Lily and Isabel. And it's that whole connection. And of course, Isabel, she pickpockets the keys and then takes off in the car with Lily. And I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so, I guess I'm just a dirty American, but I just was like so surprised that there was a BP in France. Why I was surprised, I have no idea. But there's a BP in France. It's like, oh, okay. Yes. And Sandy says that she thinks that Quinn is Laurent's father. And
I agree.
We are in that agreement.
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree.
I think there was something shady going on.
because she never answers the question, and
No.
I think that's why he was like, we can't
Well, he
take
didn't
her.
want her there.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
my
not
God.
taking her. Yeah.
Samara, my daughter, the brilliant one that she is, BP stands for British Petroleum.
So they're everywhere.
Why did I not know that? That's brilliant.
Ta-da.
Yeah. So thank you, Min. I appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, so I happen to agree with you, Sandy. I think that Quinn was the daddy, and I think it was an easy fix to the
Yeah.
problem to
We'll just get
rid
rid of her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And instead we'll just get rid of your little stink butt.
That's right.
All right. So here I am back at the beautiful landscape. The shots are gorgeous. I just loved the fog going over the trees and the sun coming through. And then, of course, the landmark where Lou tells Daryl that they're getting closer to the castle.
Right.
I just like, God, I can't even imagine seeing stuff like that. I just think it's beautiful.
Okay, guys. So awesome dead family. We need a castle with a moat.
Right. Yeah, with a moat. Yes.
With a moat.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's one for sale in Arkansas.
Okay, so here's the botched.
Watch going to the orchard.
So we have the hide and seek game. Now I got to say, if Sophia was part of it, she would have won no problem, because we know that Sophia is the queen of hide and seek. And then we have the kids where Laurent is telling them who his father is, and of course they're
the penguins tricked you.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
I know.
And then we have Isabel and Sophie talking about
their
Laurent
purpose
growing up and all of that. And then Laurent sees the horse with the puppy.
And he realizes that everybody has lied to him.
Everybody's lied to him. Yes.
It was curious because the walkers were walking off. So even when he told them, he hushed at the dogs, the walkers never turned back towards him.
Yeah.
I guess they had a belly full. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I had questions about that too, but
yeah.
There it is. There's the castle that we need.
Yep. The moat.
Yeah.
I had always thought about like putting piranhas or like pouring oil in there and you can set it on fire, but walkers will do just as well. They'll do just as well as piranhas. You don't have to worry about water drying out.
Where are you going to get piranhas from? Oh, yeah. I'm just going to go to your local pet store in France and buy a bunch of piranhas.
Yeah, so you just, get those fools to fall in there.
Oh. Dana says the whole episode is full of lies. I feel lied to. It's all lies.
We need the governor to say liar.
Liar. So and this is where they kind of lost me. Part of this has been kind of predictable. As soon as I saw the castle, I knew there was going to be a moat full of fucking walkers. I just knew it. And I don't hate me. I mean, I love the idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. Do walkers poop? Will they just keep eating until they burn? Yeah, that's your friend Anissa, Dawn.
Well, I mean, Anissa,
she's my friend too, but with an answer like that, she's your friend.
What was it? The walker that ate Lori? I mean, he was like, bloated.
Yeah.
And, crap. So they have to let something do walkers. Now I've got to think about that. Walker poop.
Right, because their organs don't work properly, so I don't know that they poop. I don't know. God, Anissa.
And what about those that have had their insides ripped out?
It's a great question for Greg Nicotero when we see him.
Yes. You need to ask him that.
Yes.
I love that.
And then I guess if you have your insides ripped out and you turn, then it just kind of like you eat, it falls out. You eat,
but they're decaying. Aren't they decaying too? Yeah.
But that their bowels and stuff don't work at that point. So, when you guys are talking to him about the fact that he needs to come to the camp to meet the infamous Carol, you can, ask him that question as well.
I think it's just going through them. That's probably the smell.
Ugh.
Talk about, worry about bear scat. Now you got to work about like zombie scat.
Zombie scat. Ugh.
We're going to get Oscar to make us some zombie scat. 3D zombie scat. We can
3D
sell
zombie
it.
scat.
Sell it.
Yes.
We can make it scratch and sniff.
A candle.
A candle.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
So disgusting. I am all in. I love it. All right. So here, let's get back to the slides. Here we go. Okay. So Daryl has just locked Lou in to the whatever that is, and he has totally completely Carled her.
Yep.
And then he is slinging whatever that farm tool is, because I'm not a farmer. I don't know what that was. To get over the moat thingy, the door, whatever it is. You guys
The
know.
bridge.
Thank you very much.
It's for plowing.
Thank you. I know I should know more about this, but I'm not that schooled. I just want to run through a castle in a flowy gown. That's all I care about. So this picture on the bottom left kind of reminded me of Alexandria. So Alexandria in the brownstone, you had the lower sections where Rick and Morgan built that jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the other entry doors, and that kind of reminded me of that. And so I kept that screenshot because I thought that was kind of very, very similar to that. And then the picture on the right is Harrison,
Hedgehog.
i.e. Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the kid from the
school.
Yes, from the nest is what they call it. The nest. I had to remember what that was. So there we have Harrison. All right. So now we get to the baddie of this episode, R.J. Gaines.
He was a twit.
Yeah.
I was going to say I already know who he voted for, but I better not say that on TV.
Yeah. Let's not get political, shall we? But I thought it was interesting that they used RJ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the last name started with a G. Right?
Mm-hmm.
At least it wasn't Jeffrey Grimes.
At least it was not. And then, of course, the picture on the top right is Daryl. And we finally figure out where all the damn toilet paper has gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And he's got 15 cans of sardines.
Yeah.
Who eats sardines? I mean,
You will when you're hungry.
you will if the za comes around. If the zombie apocalypse happens, I'll eat fuzzy fish if I get
A
hungry.
little Tabasco sauce on a Ritz cracker.
Yes. I will down some fuzzy fish if I have to.
Amber goes gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
Destiny says Eugene put them in his mac and cheese. Yes, I remember that. Oh, Angela Burns Perez actually likes sardines. Okay, Angela.
Sandy says she'll eat grass.
There you go.
All right. Yes, and Michonne wants all the toothpaste that RJ Gaines was bragging about having.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you put toothpaste on a cookie? That's basically what he was saying. I'm like, dude, you're wrong.
With mustard and crackers. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for it, Angela.
We'll have sardines at Camp Cares.
Yeah, right. All right. So now Daryl and Hedgehog are leaving the castle with the supplies on the cart, and RJ is tied up behind them, and of course he grabs the gun at a certain point, and him and Daryl go over the edge of the bridge, and he's just hanging out.
I was like, oh my gosh. I knew Daryl wasn't going to die, but for a second there, I was like, wait a minute.
Who's going to finish the series?
I know. It's literally called Daryl Dixon, so I don't think Daryl's going to die, but I'm sure that there will be moments where we're like,
Yeah.
So
You reminded me of Rosita falling. I was like, wait a minute.
yeah,
No.
and like 7 episodes later, we find out he got bit. Yeah.
Oh crap.
That's gonna be horrible.
Ooh, maybe that's a good thing, and then we can find out
Laurent.
if Laurent is
finds the
really is the
cure.
cure.
Ah,
Yeah.
see?
Ah, there you go, Daryl. Daryl got bit. It was kind
Yeah.
of like how could Tobias have not gotten bit amongst all those, at the
Mhm.
at the Coliseum?
Mhm.
Didn't this guy hanging remind you of the one hanging off the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, you did. So, and this was the other scene that I had a problem with. Daryl is getting ready to shoot the canisters and stuff, and the walkers are just it's like he's got like this protective invisible barrier behind him
I know.
where nobody's attacking him. And it's like they're obviously looking at him,
Very good.
but they didn't do it. So, and this reminded me of when Rick shot the TNT, the
Yeah.
dynamite on
Yeah.
the bridge, right?
Me
Todd,
too.
did you get that same?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Taylor,
And
how's it going?
and how did and again, all the walkers behind him and in front of him all died, and he gets up with his ears ringing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he did get bit and he's now immune.
Ah,
It's gonna be with, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
what?
You're talking about Daryl getting bit, Destiny and Regina will have to come apart.
Yeah, Destiny and Regina are silently losing their minds right now.
Oh, AMC
No!
can get rid of Daryl. That's their moneymaker.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. All right. So Daryl, he is rescued by Lou and by Hedgehog and the other kid. I can't think of what his name is. Moof, whatever. And then they look down over the edge and they see
Moof's brother.
Julian is the kid's name. And Lou goes to put him down, and she hesitates, and Daryl ends up doing it.
Yeah. Did not remind y'all of when the group went to the Army Depot to get the MREs, and Carol, went back to get more, and then they were having to pull her up, away from the walkers.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right. So Madame Dubois.
Mm-hmm.
This is their memorial that they have for Madame Dubois.
Yep.
And I thought it was really, really cute that the kids did the whole nanu thing. If you have ever watched Mork and Mindy, you know that is how Mork signed off a lot when he was, talking to, I can't think of the person, the alien guy that he would talk to every night. But he would always say nanu. And I thought it was really, really cute that the kids did that.
It's kind of like the Carol Burnett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I hate that this might be the last time we see Lou because I really liked her character.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
And why didn't the kids go move into the castle?
Maybe they will.
I mean, all the stuff's there.
I agree. I mean, they're going to go back now that they know that all that crap's there. And what's his face? The RJ Gaines or whatever his name is what do they call him? La Tarasque or something like that.
The
anyway,
lizard.
The
I'll
lizard.
be like, hey, y'all, I didn't bring anything, but it's all back there. Just go on.
Yeah.
Move in.
All right. So this is where Laurent gets to be a little pissy little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't going to do what the adults are telling him to do. And I thought it was funny that it was Isabel that was telling him to do this. And as soon as Sophie said something, he changed his attitude.
Right.
What does that say?
It's all in how you present it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I really am digging this kid, this Laurent. I'm really digging him for some reason.
It's all about the delivery.
Yeah.
Does he remind you guys of Shoot a Monkey? what's her name on the Last of Us? You know, she's supposed to be the
Ellie.
cure. Yeah, Ellie. She's supposed to be the cure for the Last of Us.
So I have something to say about that too.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that. Yes.
Oh.
I've been doing that a lot lately. All
Right.
right. So what is his name? Cadrone or whatever his name is. All right. So we finally get back to him. And he is he's searching and he finds Daryl's little recorder thing and he's listening to it. And he hears him say that he is from the Commonwealth in the United States.
That's not good.
That's not good because we already know that from the first episode, the chick on the boat, we kind of have a feeling that she's tied somehow to the CRM, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. Totally, I think. I mean, we talked about earlier that, Isabella showed what's her doodle, Maggie, Althea, the map of the CRM, and they are far and wide reaching.
Right. Yeah.
And we already talked about how Ganat has that, Julia Ormond, General Kublik's.
Yeah. So I really had some really bad feeling when he found that recorder.
You think he already has connections or somebody has connections with the Commonwealth?
I do. I think that somehow, because, we've seen the same symbol with the chick that reminds us of the Julia Ormond character that we saw at the end of the first episode. I think there's a connection there, and I think somehow it's going to get back to.
But I'm wondering if they still have a connection with the CRM since our group took over the Commonwealth and Pamela's no longer in charge.
Well, but the CRM is a completely different entity than the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth,
right. I always thought that Lance had some kind of connection to the CRM.
Oh, I have no doubt. And I think that something's going to happen with the fact that Lance is no longer the connection, and they're going to try to figure out what the hell went wrong.
And, they may try to, do to Commonwealth what they did to Portland, if you go awry, well, we just obliterate you,
Yeah. So I think it's all going to come back.
It's going to be a big battle.
Yes.
To protect the Commonwealth.
And we're finally going to get all of our people back in the same spot with Morgan and Dwight, and everybody's going to come back. Yes.
And I think maybe even Madison from Fear might find out something. Yes.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a player. I'm
If
just
she survives,
yeah,
she has old haunts coming back to her.
Yeah, it's going to be bad, but it's going to be good all at the same time.
Oh Lord!
Right. So here we have Lily giving birth, and this is where my thing is with Laurent. Okay, where it connects kind of at the same level as Ellie from Last of Us. Okay. Ellie's mother was pregnant with her when she got infected. Then she had Ellie. And we know from that Ellie was the cure. I mean, she was immune. Okay. Laurent's mother gave birth to him after she had been bitten.
And after she turned.
And so therefore he was born with this in his system. There's no way possible that he could have not been affected by the walker bite. It's just not possible.
Correct.
So the only thing is, Jenner tells Rick that everybody's infected.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and you and I are going to talk about that in a minute. But we've not actually seen anyone give birth after they have turned. Lori did it before she turned. Ellie did it before her infection progressed. So this is the first time that we're actually seeing a baby born after someone has actually died and turned.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, because Carl or Judith didn't. Judith was born before Lori turned.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because Lori wasn't bit. She just died during childbirth.
Right.
Yeah. So, man, it's sneaky shit. Oh, my God. Yes, Angela, maybe he is the cure. So we just don't know.
If Daryl got bit, we'll find out.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this was the other scene that I had a problem with. And all my Daryl chicks, they're all going to have a problem with me saying this. But I think the whole Uncle Daryl thing is a little forced in this scene. Because we know that he's been Uncle Carl to Jude or Uncle Daryl to Judith, and he's been Uncle Daryl to Carl, and he's had these conversations with these kids, and now it's trickling over, and I just felt like this whole interaction with him and Laurent was a little forced. But I mean that's just my opinion.
Well, maybe they're trying to build that bond that if something does happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I know that it was all character building in this episode, and I get it, but this one particular scene just didn't sit right with me.
The scene where they were sitting on the ledge at the Abbey did not feel forced. That felt more natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one felt forced to me. So, and I get it, Marianne. I think that Daryl is better with kids. I think that he feels more comfortable with kids, because he can be on their level and he doesn't have to worry about being judged or anything. And it's all raw honesty. And I get that.
Right.
But for me personally, this scene did not make sense to me. So. Anyway, that was just my personal opinion.
No, understood.
Maybe he's missing Judith and RJ, and that's why
And that's kind of how I had to resolve the scene was that he's missing that connection with the younger kids, and he needed to do that for himself.
It's a great point, Dawn. Great point. And was this supposed to be like a damn exorcism?
I know.
Thank you.
You're not gonna help her. Even if you could, you done split her belly open. I mean,
the power of Christ.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Samara,
But they didn't know.
Samara, what in the Linda Blair? Yes, exactly.
We've done this at Sandy's house, Carol. You and I both. But I mean,
yes, we have.
I think this is a little far gone.
Yeah, I think you missed your mark, dude.
And I'm wondering if this is where he gets bit.
I would kind of think that was probably what happened. I don't know. Yeah, and Anissa makes a great point. She says that Daryl lost his innocence at a young age and he wants to protect children. And I get that. But yes, somebody would definitely try to exorcise the demons for sure.
Well, they're trying with Jean, Pierre Jean in that, cellar kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'd be over there doing that to him, not to somebody that's had their belly cut open.
Right. Oh, gosh. All right, so here we have, it's not a virus, it's Satan. Yes, Samara, that's exactly right. So I loved this shot of little Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was really cute that they show her at such a young age and being so protective over the baby.
Right.
And then, of course, you have Saint Laurent. And that's where Isabel gets his.
And Saint Laurent is the patron saint. This is kind of crazy. Patron saint of school children, poor people, and comedians.
Nanu.
I'm like,
Nanu. That's right.
I mean, but he also, he was martyred, and he was, I believe he was burned to death.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good information there.
And that's it.
So, well, we're gonna go backwards. We're
Uh-oh.
gonna go backwards. We're gonna go back to, because I've talked with Carol, and there's been that. So going back to the opening sequence, I just kept thinking to myself, there's something more to this, and I've actually got a good screen grab. I blew it up. I tried to translate. A lot of it is just like you can't really decipher, but there's a few words that are very clear. One is, and they're up in the left-hand corner. One is control the dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. I'm pointing at the screen like anybody can actually see me.
You can see it,
You can see me, right? So it's going towards the neck, and it says point of entry.
Yeah.
And then in big letters, Uber, and no, not not Uber. But in looking, they're trying to create a super variant.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about, I knew that there was something more to this, so I did a little research. I thought there's got to be somebody out there smarter than me that's already kind of delved into this, and there was. So one of the reasons they call it Uber as super variant, and the time it came out, is Uber actually came into being as a source of transportation in 2009. And of course, then you have the virus outbreak in 2010. And so this is a source of transportation as far as the virus. But going into the neck, that there's some kind of a serum that they've created that can go into the neck of the walkers to create these super variants. And what better way to create a super variant than a true biological weapon, and a walker that can be controlled.
Wow.
And so, so there's just so much to this, that obviously the CRM, the people on the boat, and the people in the French lab were created to reanimate the dead as, a controlled subject that they can actually control. And then if you look at that opening sequence, Carol and I were talking before the show, there's so much red. And then there's this the incredible images, of this. The red smoke, red haze, fog. It reminded me immediately of the Red Death, which came after the Black Death, the Black Plague. Yes. And so this tells you this Red Death was, airborne and waterborne, the transmission of everything. And, it's just fascinating now to know that this originated in France. It was released into the air and into the water in some way, and that they're trying to create these super variant walkers that can be controlled.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said a whole lot.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was really, really creepy. And if you go and you look, now these are just a couple of screenshots, but almost every single shot that they do in the opening credits has red in it. And so, and when Eliza and I were talking earlier before the show started, we were talking about that. And as soon as she said Red Death, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Okay. So then we started, peeling everything apart. But yeah, they kind of do themes, and we will, of course, as always, be watching the opening credits to see the subtle changes and stuff, because we know that that's what AMC does.
And you think about, the Black Plague, was transmitted primarily through dirtiness, fleas and rats and things like that. The Red Death came in after that. But, you think about what we see in our modern day. I don't know if they do it so much anymore, but they used to do it. You think about when neighborhoods would get fogged for mosquitoes. You think about crop dusters. You think about what can get released into the waters. Think about like Flint, Michigan. Think about what happened in Ohio. Just how easy it is for things to get put out into the air, or into our water system. And, you may not be turned immediately, but at death, something is going to happen.
Yeah, and now it's in your system.
And
And like
Sandy
Jenner
says we
said,
still get clogged for mosquitoes. Yeah.
And didn't Jenner say it was something like meningitis when he was talking?
It infects the brain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it attacks the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy says, I've been feeling awfully funny. Don't do it, Sandy. Don't do
And
it.
if any of the viewers, if you haven't watched World Beyond, you really need to watch it because there's a lot of testing on these walkers.
Yeah.
In season 2 that kind of plays into this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you think about what would be a better biological weapon than to have an undead that you could release onto a nation that could be controlled. And not everybody's good with shots. I'm just going to say not everybody's a good headshot.
Or just ask Samara. She's terrible with shots.
I'm kind of curious now after watching what was it, the end of World Beyond and the credit scene, like who was the person that came in and shot that doctor and said you all started this and created this? Well, since you're talking about all this, are they the good guys or are they trying to, you know what I mean? I'm kind of interested. Who are these people?
I think it could have been another lab worker who saw what happened. And it was like, you, the scientist, you created this, you started this, and then he tries to execute her. And as we see from that one shot, she got shot to the head and it did not kill her.
No.
So I think we're going to see a lot of different variants coming up, but it kind of goes to show that's, how they've been experimenting there in the lab. And then if all the labs are destroyed on land, what better way to go than to go with a big medical ship?
And then, like you said, Jenner was talking to the French and he was saying they were the closest ones to a cure.
Yeah, Sandy's got jokes. How about lift variants and not just
That's coming next.
Yeah,
right, I'm gonna have to dive into this now.
it was a great episode, and we're and you guys all in the audience pay attention to the opening sequence because Walking Dead will start making changes as the series progresses. They'll add things, they'll take things out. So, like when we were doing Dead City, and I guess we were like 2 or 3 episodes in, and we saw the guy zip lining across.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pay attention to that for sure.
So, if you guys see a variant, see how I did that? A variant.
Now I'm thinking Jenner has more of an important role than what we think, because why would they hold on to that?
Right.
Talk about needing a backstory. We need a backstory of that time in the lab with Jenner and his wife.
I agree. I really hope that they do some backstories on Tales.
Yes.
Instead of just these random characters, I think that we deserve backstories for Tales, especially Dawn with her lonely walker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. So, well, it was good. We want to do our quick video shout out.
Yes, we have a video, and this is about the auction coming up on October 13th, which is Friday the 13th. And it's going to be streaming live from the camp page to help Chrysaeus for cancer treatment. So let it roll.
All right. Wait. I got too many fucking windows open. Hang on. Right?
We'll just freeze frame. Freeze.
Pose.
Yeah.
Frame.
Okay, family. This is when we come together and we shine our brightest. Eliza, Dawn, Carol, and Barb, the incredible ladies of the Relishing the Dead podcast, are going to be hosting a live auction on the camp Facebook page for Chris Watson. And for those of you that don't know, Chris is battling a rare form of cancer, and we are trying to do what we can to help with extra expenses while she goes through treatment. For those of you who've been to the camp, Chris and her husband Joe, who cosplay Rosita, and Negan and their beautiful daughter Natasha. We are asking for people to donate memorabilia, and you all have something. Donate memorabilia to the auction, and you can contact Eliza, Dawn, Carol, or Barb. You can go to the Relishing the Dead Facebook page and the camp Facebook page to make sure that your items get there on time and are ready for the auction, which will be October 13th. And I know some other cast members have jumped in, and I am jumping in as well to contribute. I have a few things that I'm going to sign and donate to the auction. I have this awesome poster from designed by Walker Wynn, and then there's 2 versions of it. I'm going to donate one of each. So there's that one, and there is that one. Very, very cool. That first episode of season 11. My oh my. Also a Clark 8x10. And if you need the dynamic duo, I've got Clark and Evans. Sometimes you need the tag team. And if you need something a little smaller, I also have Clark and Evans in postcard size. And then I also have one of Mark Roberts' dead cards that he created for Clark. So I've got the Clark card that I will sign as well. So I will be signing all of those items and donating them. I challenge you to donate some memorabilia that you might have, and I extra challenge you to join the live auction October 13th and bid and raise a lot of money for these incredible people. This is where we do our best, is when we come together and support a family member. So I'm excited to see all of the exciting things that are donated, and I'm even more excited to see how much money we raise. Have a great day. Blessings to you all. Peace out.
She's so wonderful.
I love her.
And if you've been on our page or pages, we also had a video from the fantastic Mo Collins,
Our BFF.
our BFF, and she will be donating items as well, and also an original art piece that she does.
Yes.
Yes, and you could see that video that she did on our page. I think the camp shared it too, also, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah. We can throw it up real quick if you want to,
Yeah.
though.
Throw it up. Throw it up.
Throw it up. Throw it up.
And again.
Wait. Okay. I have all these buttons to push, and
Always pushing buttons, aren't you, Eliza?
always pushing buttons.
Hey guys, it's Mo Collins here. Relishing the Dead podcast is having me help out to alert you to something very important. As we all know, the Walking Dead world, the universe, is pretty much a family. And when one of your family needs your help, what do? We step up. And here's the deal. So Chris is going through some cancer treatment with the help of her husband, Joe. And then they have, of course, their family to look after. It's a tough time. And so if we could help out Chris and Joe and little Natasha, that would be great. Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a live auction on October 13th. And what they need from you are some items for the auction. Do you have some memorabilia from the world just that you're kind of done loving up on and you want to put it up for auction? This is the place to do it. So I'm going to throw out a couple things myself. I am donating this piece of art here, which I thought kind of worked well for the Walking Dead world because it's got that shredded flesh right there, just shredding the tear. And then I'm also going to put up this pic, and this bitch.
That bitch.
And those will be signed, and those will be at the auction too. So consider putting something up to auction, won't you? Those, I can speak from personal experience. Cancer doesn't come cheap. And I tell you what you also don't need during that time when you're just trying to heal and treat and do all the things you have to do to survive. Stress is a factor. And money and stress let's try and alleviate some of that for him, shall we? So check your memorabilia, see what you got. And then too, once October 13th rolls around, get on that live auction, okay? Let's get it going. Come on, fam.
Yeah.
I love her.
So just a disclaimer, we are not on, we are hosting our lives from the camp page, but we do not monitor or have admin permissions on the camp page. So if you or someone you knows wants to donate memorabilia for the auction, contact me, Carol, Dawn, or Barb. You can go to our Facebook page and message us. You can also go to our Relishing the Dead podcast page, or to I guess that's it. To Relishing Dead podcast page, and message us there, and one of us will get back to you.
Yes, absolutely. And we've got a couple of other actors that are going to be coming up that are going to be sending messages out as well for the auction. So keep your eyes open for those too.
Yes.
So there we have it.
Great show. I can't wait for the next episode to drop.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So we have some events that are coming up. Just to kind of keep you guys in line here, we got the Lake Joy Trails of Terror, where Seth Gilliam is going to be on October 20th and 21st. Check that out. And of course, we have Scarefest, where our very own Dawn and Barbara are going to be. And they know their jobs just like Samara and Destiny do. They're going to get Greg Nicotero to the camp just for me so I can sit on his lap. But that's and if you go to Scarefest and you have a chance to go to Scarefest, please go and meet Tom Savini as well. There's just a shameless plug for him, because if you know anything about Greg Nicotero, then you should absolutely be in love with Tom Savini like I am, because Greg Nicotero studied under Tom Savini. So there's that.
There you go.
And then we have the Camp Cares, which Aliza and I will be at. And that is the, Aliza, you tell them a little bit about Camp Cares.
October 27th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be at the Central Park Rec Center, helping the homeless get set up for the winter months. I guess Atlanta has winter months. So we're going to be down there selling out, handing out bags and clothing and food. If you want to come join us, please do. And then we're going to be doing it again on May 23rd.
Okay. For the camp, right? The spring or summer.
Yes, if you're going, search your closets. If you have any old coats you don't want, donate them. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. May 23rd, we've got the WNBA Atlanta Dream coming in May.
And then, of course, these are the two so far that have been announced for the camp. We got some Chandler Rigg and some Michael Trainer. Hello.
That's it.
Super excited about this. I'm excited about meeting Michael Trainer.
Me too.
It's going to be his first time at the camp, so it's going to be pretty cool to hang out with.
I think we need to go to the dumpster and like reenact.
I think so too. Just to have him say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know the hotel's going to have a dumpster, so
That's right. That's what I said. Let's go to the dumpster.
Just a dumpster dive with Michael Trainer.
There you go. There you go. We want all photo ops with Michael done at a dumpster.
Down at the dumpster.
There you go.
Yes, I love
and
it.
Dawn is holding out that we have Andrew Lincoln, David Morrissey, and Josh Hamilton all at the camp too, so we can watch her have a stroke.
Right.
I will buy her Depends for that. And we're going to give her a lot of alcohol.
Right. Because we've learned something about Dawn tonight, and she needs liquid courage.
That's it. Liquid courage. That's
Here's
it.
my imitation of Alpha.
Right. All right. So there we go, Dawn.
Thank you to our Patreons and financial supporters of our show. Our very own Destiny Lamar, Terry K. Collier, Sandy Morrison, Lauren Perkins, Ben and Melissa Gilbert, Pamela Blythe, Marianne Craig, and Dustin Baker.
And then
a very special thank you to Camp Mommy and Poppy, Oscar and Casey. They're the best.
Yes,
we appreciate you all so much.
Gotta love it. And of course, as always, we have other podcasts that are in the family, so go and check them out.
Beauty and the Beats and Squawking Dead.
Yep.
And that's it.
Oh, and check out the article by Renee if you didn't get to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
She took Dawn and Barb's theory of Carol being a stowaway and ran with that article. So absolutely check that out.
Yeah, she did. And she included a video too, which we have posted up in that article. And yeah, my mind was
super
blown.
excited about that.
Yeah. When
That
she
was great.
contacted me and said, "Do you guys mind if I write a story and comment and tag you guys and post your video?" I'm like, "Go for it. We need all that media attention."
And apparently Destiny wants to give a shout out to my girls and loved the artichoke. I don't know what an artichoke. I think she meant to say article, but she said love the artichoke. So you know what, Destiny, I love artichokes too, honey.
Yeah, artichokes are good. Artichokes are good. Sandy, don't y'all all get cocky now.
No. All right.
We love you guys. Thank you.
See you
And,
guys
All right. See you next week.
Sweet.